All right, let me paint you a picture. The date is August 23rd, 2025. The sun is setting low over the Georgia pines, cast in a warm golden glow. You can smell freshly baked cornbread and sweet tea from a mile away. This is the home of Mr. Asad Khan, a man whose gentle spirit is as warm as his hospitality. He's standing on his porch, a big old smile on his face, ready to welcome his family and friends. Folks come from all around just to sit in his living room to soak up a little bit of his wisdom. He doesn't preach or lecture. Nah, that ain't his style. He just shares what he knows, like he's passing you a plate of his wife's famous peach cobbler. As everyone settles into the cozy armchairs and couches, the room fills with easy laughter and friendly chatter. You see, Mr. Khan's home ain't just a house. It's a sanctuary. It's a place where you can set your burdens down at the door and just be. He looks around the room, his eyes twinkling, and you can feel the love he has for every single person there. He lets the comfortable silence settle for a moment before he speaks, his voice smooth and calm like a slow-moving river. He believes that the most important conversations happen when folks feel safe, when they feel at home. That's the foundation of everything he's about to share. He starts by thanking everyone for coming. "It does my heart good to see all your faces," he says, his voice full of genuine warmth. "Life gets busy, I know it does. But taking a moment to just be together, to share a little time, well, that's the real stuff. That's the good stuff." He makes sure everyone has a drink, a little something to eat. It's his way of saying, "You matter. You're welcome here." It's in these small gestures that his first lesson begins, even before he says a word. Hospitality ain't just about food and drink. It's about making people feel seen and valued. And that's the magic of Asad Khan. He teaches without you even realizing you're in class. His lessons are woven into the fabric of the evening, into the very air you breathe in his home. He knows that life can be tough, that it can knock you down and leave you feeling lost. But he also knows that a little bit of kindness, a little bit of simple wisdom can be the light that guides you back. So, as we all sit there, feeling the comfort of his home, we're ready to listen. We're ready to learn from the gentle ripples of wisdom he's about to create. Mr. Khan waits for everyone to get comfortable, then he leans forward slightly, a thoughtful look on his face. He starts with his first piece of wisdom. "A candle loses nothing by lighting another candle," he says gently. The room goes quiet as everyone thinks on that. He lets the words hang in the air for a moment, letting them sink in deep. Then he explains it in that simple, down-to-earth way of his. He talks about how sharing your joy, your knowledge, or even just your time doesn't take anything away from you. In fact, it just makes the whole room brighter for everyone. He points to the big platter of sandwiches on the coffee table. "Think of it like this," he continues. "When you share your food with a friend who is hungry, you don't become less full. You both become nourished. Your kindness feeds their body, and their gratitude feeds your soul. It's a beautiful exchange. Sharing what you have, whether it's a little or a lot, creates more abundance. It multiplies the good in the world. Being kind costs you nothing. But the return on that investment is priceless. It makes the world a warmer, better place for all of us to live in." Then he moves on to another thought, building on the first one. Kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. He explains that you don't need fancy words or grand gestures to show you care. A simple smile, a helping hand, holding a door open for someone. These are things everyone understands, no matter who they are or where they come from. It's a universal connection. He tells a story about seeing a young fella help an elderly woman carry her groceries to her car. No words were exchanged, but the look of relief and thanks on her face spoke volumes. That's a language everyone gets. He finishes this part of the conversation with one more piece of gold. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. He encourages everyone to think about the small things. Maybe you let someone go ahead of you in the checkout line, or you gave a genuine compliment to a stranger. It might seem insignificant to you, but you never know the impact it has on someone else's day. It could be the one bright spot in a tough time. These small acts are like planting tiny seeds. You may not see them grow, but they are spreading goodness in the world, one small, beautiful act at a time. After letting the thoughts on kindness settle, Mr. Khan shifts in his chair, his expression turning a little more serious, but still just as gentle. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong, he says, his voice steady. He looks around the room, meeting the eyes of his guests. He knows this one is harder. Forgiveness ain't easy. It takes real strength, the kind of strength that doesn't come from muscles but from the heart. He explains that holding on to a grudge is like carrying a heavy bag of rocks. It weighs you down, makes you tired, and stops you from moving forward with your life. He gives an example that everyone can understand. Imagine you and your best friend have a silly argument, he says. You both say things you don't mean. Holding on to that anger feels awful, doesn't it? It builds a wall between you. But when one of you is brave enough to say, "I'm sorry," that's strength. And when the other one says, "I forgive you," that's strength too. Forgiving doesn't mean what they did was okay. It means you are strong enough to let go of the pain and not let it control you anymore. You're choosing peace for yourself. He continues on this path, offering another pearl of wisdom. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you. This one really makes you think. He explains that when you refuse to forgive someone, you're the one who suffers the most. You replay the hurt over and over in your mind, letting it live rent-free in your head. You're trapped in a prison of your own anger and resentment. But the moment you decide to forgive, you unlock the door. You let yourself out. You're no longer tied to that person or that painful memory. You're free to move on and find happiness again. Mr. Khan then adds a final thought on this topic. A reminder that we all need grace. Everyone deserves a second chance because we all make mistakes. He reminds us that nobody is perfect. We've all said the wrong thing, done the wrong thing, or hurt someone we love. And in those moments, we hope for forgiveness. We hope for a chance to make it right. So when someone else makes a mistake, we should try to offer them the same grace we'd want for ourselves. A second chance is a gift of hope. It's a way of saying, "I believe you can be better," and that's a powerful thing to give someone. Mr. Khan takes a slow sip of his sweet tea, just letting the lesson on forgiveness settle in everyone's hearts. Then, he moves on to the next theme, the quiet power of inner strength. A river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence, he says. He wants everyone to really understand that true strength isn't about being the loudest or the strongest person in the room. It's about being steady. It's about not giving up. He asks everyone to picture a small, steady stream flowing over a giant boulder. Day after day, year after year, that gentle water wears away the hard stone. To explain this, he shares a simple life example. Think about learning to play the guitar, he says. When you first pick it up, your fingers hurt and it sounds terrible. You're not going to be a rock star overnight, but if you practice for just 15 minutes every single day, little by little, your fingers get stronger. The chords start to sound right. That daily persistence, that steady effort is what turns you into a musician. It's not about one big, powerful effort. It's about the small, consistent steps you take every day. That's how you cut through the rock of any challenge. Building on this idea, he shares another quote. Patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting. Mr. Khan chuckles softly, knowing that everyone struggles with patience. We want everything right now. But he explains that patience is a form of wisdom. It's understanding that some things just take time, like a seed growing into a tree. You can't rush it. He uses the example of baking a cake. You mix all the ingredients, you put it in the oven, and then you have to wait. If you get impatient and pull it out too early, you've got a gooey mess. You have to trust the process. He ties it all together with a final piece of advice on enduring hardship. The oak fought the wind and was broken. The willow bent when it must and survived. He explains that sometimes strength isn't about standing rigid and unmovable. Sometimes true strength is about being flexible. It's about knowing when to bend so you don't break. Life is going to throw storms your way. If If you're too proud or too stubborn to adapt, you might get snapped in two. But if you can be like the willow tree, flexible and resilient, you can withstand the storm and stand tall once it passes. That's the secret to survival. The room grows quiet, everyone just soaking in the lessons on strength. Mr. Khan smiles, knowing it's time to talk about peace, the greatest treasure of all. Contentment is not the fulfillment of what you want, but the realization of how much you already have, he begins. He explains that so many of us spend our lives chasing the next big thing. A bigger house, a fancier car, a better job. We think that once we get it, we'll finally be happy. But happiness doesn't work that way. It's not something you find at the end of a long chase. It's right here, right now. He asks everyone to just look around the room. Look at the friends beside you, he says. Think about the roof over your head, the food in your belly, the simple fact that you are breathing. We are so blessed. True contentment comes when you stop looking at what you don't have and start being grateful for what you do have. It's like having a pocket full of diamonds but complaining because you don't have one more. Appreciate the diamonds you've got. That's where you'll find real, lasting peace. It's a shift in your focus, not in your circumstances. He then offers another quote to help folks find that peace. Worrying does not take away tomorrow's troubles. It takes away today's peace. This one really hits home for a lot of people. He describes worry as a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. You can spend all day worrying about what might happen tomorrow, but it won't change a thing. All it does is steal the joy from your present moment. He encourages everyone to try and live in the now. When you feel worry creeping in, take a deep breath and focus on what's right in front of you. Finally, he shares a simple truth about letting go. Some things are not meant to be held on to. You must let them go to make space for better things to come. He compares our minds to a closet. If it's stuffed full of old junk, old hurts, old regrets, old fears, there's no room for anything new and beautiful. Sometimes you have to do a little spring cleaning. You have to let go of the past so you can embrace the future. It can be scary to let go, but it's the only way to make room for peace, joy, and new opportunities to enter your life. As the evening continues, Mr. Khan moves on to the topic of personal growth, which, honestly, is a journey that never really ends. A mistake is not a failure. It is a lesson in how not to do something, he says, his tone warm and encouraging. He wants to take the sting out of making mistakes. So many people are terrified of failing, so they never even try. But Mr. Khan sees mistakes differently. He sees them as signposts pointing you in a better direction. They're not dead ends, they're valuable pieces of information that help you learn and grow. He gives a very simple example. Think about a toddler learning to walk, he explained. How many times do they fall down? 100, 1,000? But they don't see it as failure. They just get back up and try again. Each fall teaches them something about balance. Mistakes in life are the same way. Maybe you trusted the wrong person or made a bad investment. Don't beat yourself up over it. Instead, ask yourself, what did I learn from this? That's how you turn a stumble into a step forward. Every mistake is a lesson from your best teacher experience. He then adds another dimension to this idea of growth. Wisdom is not knowing everything. It is knowing that you know nothing. Mr. Khan chuckles, admitting he learns something new every single day. He explains that the wisest people are the ones who are always curious, always asking questions. They aren't afraid to say, I don't know. It's the people who think they have all the answers who stop growing. True wisdom is about having an open mind. It's about being humble enough to realize that the world is a vast and mysterious place, and there's always more to learn. He wraps up this section with a final, powerful thought. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. He looks around at everyone, some young, some older. He knows that many people feel it's too late to start something new, to learn a skill, to fix a relationship, to chase a dream. But he insists that's just not true. You can't go back and change the past. You can't plant that tree 20 years ago, but you can plant it today. Don't let regret hold you back. Whatever it is you want to do, start now. Today is the perfect day to begin growing. As the evening draws to a close, the aroma of coffee now mingles with the lingering scent of cornbread. The room feels different. The air is thick with contemplation, but it's a comfortable, hopeful kind of quiet. Mr. Khan looks at the faces around him, noticing the gentle shifts in their expressions. Folks came in carrying the weight of their week, their worries, their doubts. But now, their shoulders seem a little less slumped, their smiles a bit more genuine. The simple, honest wisdom he shared has worked its quiet magic. Like a gentle rain on thirsty ground, he offers one last thought to tie everything together. Life is simple, but we insist on making it complicated. He explains that all the lessons of the evening, kindness, forgiveness, patience, gratitude, and learning are not complex ideas. They are the basic building blocks of a happy life. We get lost when we overthink things, when we let our pride and our fears get in the way. But if we can come back to these simple truths, we can find our way again. The path to a good life is not easy, but it is simple. It's about being a little kinder, a little more forgiving, and a little more grateful each day. People slowly begin to stand up, stretching and sharing quiet hugs. You can hear them talking softly, repeating some of the quotes to each other. "A candle loses nothing," one person says with a smile. "The second best time is now," another whispers, a look of new resolve in their eyes. The lessons haven't just been heard, they've been felt. They've become a part of them, little seeds of wisdom planted in their hearts, ready to be watered and nurtured in the days and weeks to come. They are leaving not just with full bellies, but with full hearts. As they step out into the cool night air, they carry the warmth of Mr. Khan's home with them. They feel lighter, not because their problems have vanished, but because their perspective has changed. They have been reminded of their own strength, their own capacity for kindness, and their own power to choose peace. The gentle ripples of Asad Khan's wisdom will continue to spread, touching their lives and the lives of those around them. And they know that whenever life gets a little too complicated, they can always find their way back to this place of simple, gentle truth.